every semester that I've taught English 248A at Cerritos College, I've assigned my students to make an argument to shift the status of one masterpiece of world literature from unassigned to assigned. And every semester, at least one student has argued that the Divine Comedy of Dante Alighieri, or at least the famous first third of it, the Inferno, should be assigned. But this semester is the first time that the Inferno has had so many supporters. 4 of you presented on Dante's Divine Comedy in general or Inferno in specific, and 16 of you voted to shift it from unassigned to assigned. Perhaps that's because this year, 2021, is the 700th anniversary of Dante's death in 1321. If not, it's a convenient coincidence, as that significant anniversary has inspired the creation of a website that could conceivably support you through a reading of not only Inferno, but also Purgatorio and Paradiso. Or perhaps your strong support for Dante this semester is because despite those 700 years that separate us from him, our own time is full of the types of political divisions that shaped his life and his literature. In this time, in this place, we might think about the battle between political parties such as the Democrats and the Republicans. And after the Democrats won back control of the United States government in 2020, the infighting between moderate Democrats and progressive Democrats. In Dante's time, in his place, the political turmoil that shaped his life and his literature started out as the battle between the Guelphs, who supported the Pope, and the Ghibellines, who supported the Holy Roman Emperor. Basically, it was a struggle between supporters of ecclesiastical power and supporters of secular power, church versus state, if you will. However, once the Guelphs won power in Dante's hometown of Florence in northern Italy, they split into the Black Guelphs, who support a particular pope, Boniface VIII, and the White Guelphs, who oppose that particular pope. Basically, Dante sided with the winners of that first battle and the losers of the second. When the Black Guelphs seized control of Florence while Dante was in Rome on a diplomatic mission, he was forbidden from ever returning under penalty of death by burning at the stake. Making this exile especially excruciating was the fact that Dante's wife and children remained in Florence. So Dante spent the last 20 years of his life in exile from his home and his family. It was during that time he wrote what he simply called the Comedy. It was christened Divine by the slightly later Italian author Giovanni Boccaccio. The entire Divine Comedy is composed of 100 poems, which Dante called cantos, Italian for songs. 33 of those cantos describe the poet's vision of heaven, that's Paradiso. 33 describe purgatory, that's Purgatorio. And 34 are included in Inferno, the 33 that describe Dante, the author's vision of hell, and the one that introduces Dante, the narrator, often referred to as the pilgrim, lost in a dark wood. Nel mezzo del camin di nostra vita, mi ritrovai per una selva oscura, che la diritta via era smarrita. Midway along the journey of our life, I woke to find myself in a dark wood, for I had wandered off from the straight path. Why do those words still impact us powerfully today, 700 years after Dante's death? Well, have you ever felt like everything in your life has gone wrong? Have you ever felt profoundly lost? Have you ever wanted someone to guide you through that troubling time, to reassure you that you live in a moral universe where the bad are punished and the good are rewarded? Dante was willing to wager that you have. Notice that he wrote, "Our life, not my life." With those powerful first lines of the Divine Comedy, he's inviting writers to join him on a journey that he believes will show not only him, but also us, the ethical, straight path we may feel we have lost somewhere along the way. So is this journey worth taking with Dante? Is the Divine Comedy worth reading? Certainly. Is it easy to read Dante? To read the Divine Comedy? Certainly not. So, back to that website I mentioned earlier. Because it's the 700th anniversary of Dante's death, A group of professors at a handful of U.S. universities have created the site 100daysofdante.com to support people through the challenge of reading all 100 cantos in the Divine Comedy in 100 days. If, after exploring the Inferno in the next 2 weeks of English 248A, you decide you would like to continue reading the rest of the Divine Comedy, I recommend that you check out the 100 Days of Dante. But to get us started, let's first take a look at a recent article called How to Read Dante in the 21st Century by Joseph Luzzi. That should help us as we try to find our path through Dante's vision of the afterlife.